Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm audible.
Yes, brother. Walaikum salam wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Okay, we'll get started. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. Allahumma allimna ma yanfa'una wanfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilma. I welcome you all to this orientation session for our course on sales and marketing of Islamic products and services. In this session, inshallah, we will be trying to understand the need for such a course, how it is applicable, and what are the problems that we are trying to solve. So I request you to be active, to be participative in this, and inshallah, let me know your thoughts and comments once we open the floor for discussion. So let us start with the understanding of Islamic products and services. Let's go back one step. What do you mean by products and what do you mean by services? What is the difference between a product and a service?
Product is physical, services is not physical.
Okay. Product is physical, services are not physical. Very good. So it is the tangibility. Products are tangible and services are not. But within
In
products, there are certain products which are also not physical. For example, financial products, right? For example, products that are sold by financial institutions. They call it products, but there is nothing tangible. IT products, for example, we have IT products, software that is also sold as a product, but there is nothing tangible there. It is a machine doing something behind the screen. But in general, yes, the differentiation that you said is tangibility, and that is the most widely accepted difference between a product and a service. The Wi-Fi at your home, the Wi-Fi at your home, is it a product or a service?
service,
Is it a service? Sure.
yeah, the
Yes.
device is a product, but the Wi-Fi facility is a service.
So, in general, the Wi-Fi connectivity at home is an excellent example of a combination of a product and a service. The modem that you have or the router that you have is the product, and the signal that you get because of it to connect to the internet is a service. One does not work without the other. Without a net connection, the modem is waste. Without the modem, you will be unable to get a Wi-Fi connection. So this is an example of where both the product and the service overlap and work together in tandem. Give me another example of a combination of a product and a service working together.
Mobile network,
Mobile network, excellent. So you have a mobile device and then you have a GPS or sorry, you have a SIM network which works along with your mobile device. Very good. Cellular network. Good. So understanding that, the next logical question is what do we define? LPG is a product. LPG is a product. The delivery of LPG is a service. Like Swiggy is a service. Swiggy brings food to you. The food is a product. The delivery guy who comes and delivers to you is a service. Zepto is a service. The product that Zepto brings is a product. The food or the item that Zepto brings is a product, right? Ola, Rapido, all of these are services. The transport that they offer is tangible, right? So let's go to the definition of what you would infer with the term Islamic product. What is an Islamic product? What do you mean by Islamic product? Give me an example of an Islamic product.
miswork is an Islamic product.
Sorry?
Miswak. Miswak.
Miswak is an Islamic product. Okay. What makes
Talbina.
it Islamic? What makes it Islamic?
Sorry?
What qualifies this product to be called as an Islamic product?
Because it's a sunnah. It's sunnah to use the miswak.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
qualities.
Any other definitions of what an Islamic product is? Hijabs. Okay. Good. Okay. So you can basically have three components of anything that is called Islamic. Number one, the things that are directly mentioned or used or utilized by Muslims because it is mentioned in the book and the Sunnah. Like Miswak is there, Zamzam is there, dates are there, right? Things like that which are intentionally used by Muslims because of a particular virtue or a particular tradition that is mentioned. That is category A. Category B is that product or service which in itself has an impurity according to Islam, and that impurity is removed to make it pure. Give me an example. There is a product which in itself has an impurity, and that impurity is removed to make it Islamic or to make it permissible for Muslims to use it.
Sand.
Sorry,
Is it sand?
I did not understand. Can you be a little loud? Sand. Sand by itself is pure. Sand is something that makes you pure if it is good. Use it for tayammum. For example, think of the financial products, right? When you say Islamic bank, or when you say a Sharia compliant Islamic product, or when you say an interest-free loan, the default in the community is loan based on interest. The moment you remove the interest component, it becomes an Islamic loan, which is an interest-free loan, right? Any transaction which has an element of impurity, which makes it Islamically impermissible to use it, that becomes labeled as an Islamic product because that thing that was making it impermissible to use is no longer existent in this product, right? Now, we are talking about real life products which we are using in day to day life. So we will stick to examples that everybody can comprehend. So we are looking at financial products, things that have, for example, there is a background audio, for example, a nasheed is an example. A nasheed is an example where people are using background music, people are using song lyrics, people are using drums and effects and whatnot. When you have something that is null and void of those characteristics, then we say it's an Islamic nasheed. Because there's nothing called an Islamic nasheed. Anything that is permissible to use because those haram components or impermissible components no longer exist as part of this product, we call it as an Islamic nasheed, though there is nothing which is Islamic in terms of audio. That is category two, where the product in itself is so widely available with certain impermissible components that the purification of itself makes it Islamic. For example, say meat, chicken and poultry and meat. By default, there are so many places that this is sold with not proper slaughtering methods followed, where it is jhatka or not based slaughtered based on the Sharia principles. So the moment somebody follows the Sharia principles and slaughters an animal, that becomes halal for us, and that is marketed as a halal product or an Islamically compliant product. That's number two. Number three category are those things which don't fall in category 1 or category 2, but just based on the cultural usage. based on the cultural usage of Muslims dominantly, they get identified as Islamic products. For example, kurta, so right, long abayas, like specific headscarves. Though the idea is to cover, but the product itself, because of the widely used pattern amongst the local people, henna, for example, very good example. These things are, for example, calligraphy products, where Arabic calligraphy is related. So there are things which are branded as Islamic just because of the widely used pattern amongst the Muslims, right? So these are examples of Islamic products. I said three categories. Can anybody recall those three categories quickly? Three categories. Anything that is directly mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah? Yes. Good. Category two. Category two. Anything that is commonly available with an impurity and the purity is maintained by removing that impurity to make it very good. Number three, number three, anything which is commonly seemed to be Islamic or rather used by majority of the Muslims, specifically used by Muslims. Good, alhamdulillah. So with that understanding of what Islamic products and services normally comprise of, let's go to the agenda of the session. Let's try to understand this and make relevance with this. There is a silent crisis in the Islamic ecosystem. There are so many Islamic institutions that are opening every single month. They might not be registered, they might not have a logo, they might not have a registration number, blah blah. They might not even have a bank account. With post-COVID scenario, there are so many online institutions, academies, Quran learning centers, Arabic academies, uh, like Islamic studies academies, Tajweed academies, Islamic schools, Islamic colleges, Islamic training centers, maktabs, madrasas, and whatnot. Islamic institutions are growing, number one. Number two, the products are increasing. What is being sold via these institutions, whether it be products or services. When I say products, it can be books, it can be rehas, it can be mushaf, it can be some other, for example, zamzam, it can be even a Hajj service. For example, a Hajj operator who is selling it as a package, right? A Hajj package, Umrah package, there are financial products, right? Islamic financial products where they are joint ventures, investment opportunities, business opportunities, and so on and so forth. The products that are offered are increasing every day. Digital platforms are expanding. The market footprint, the market of which you within which you operate is so widely expanding that a course that is conducted in Chennai or Bangalore is being attended from Canada, from UK, from Malaysia, from Sri Lanka and whatnot. So the digital platform has made the footprint so widely accessible, and all of these actually are good things. That's why you see them in green. They're actually good things. They're healthy things for the ummah as a whole. But the problem is the marketing aspect of all of these are still weak, which means the institutions are fighting for the same target audience. The institutions are trying to compete with each other to sell the same thing, right? The institutions are unable to find their seats filled. A lot of times the institutions are running with two people, three people, four people enrolled into a particular course. Now, a lot of times there are a lot of publishers who publish a lot of books, but they are in the rack in the warehouse not being sold. There are a lot of digital platforms where things are not getting purchased. So, because of the marketing aspect of it, the way that it is marketed, or the weakness in the marketing side of things, the product does not reach, or the service does not reach the intended audience, which means all this noble intention, all these efforts going into the direction of creating and sharing more Islamic products and services is not being met with the proper demand. There is supply. In fact, I would say there is oversupply. If you look at the, for example, just as a use case, if you look at the number of Islamic schools and colleges that are there within our state, for example, and the number of people who are actually getting enrolled, the supply is much higher than the actual people that are getting enrolled. So this does not talk about the quality of what is being offered. This does not determine the quality or the low quality of what is being offered. This is actually the pain in taking the message to the market. The problem lies in communicating, in taking the reach of this particular product or service to the intended audience or to the target audience. And that is why we have a structural problem in how we are creating the demand. Normally, if you look at commercial products, they come in and they create a demand. They come in and they create a demand. Lot of products, lot of advertisements around you, you will see that they don't come in with the exact demand. They oversupply and they build up the demand so that the supply and the demand are matching each other. But in our case, predominantly, we are oversupplied. The number of Islamic institutions, the number of Quran academies, the number of schools and colleges, the number of books publishers, the number of digital products, the number of homemade products, the number of online commerce that we do, we have oversupply. And what happens here is that there is a sort of an unsettled audience because they always have an option B, C, D, E. There is a lack of stability. People go shopping. They enroll into a course in one institute. After 1 month, they find the other institute is better. They go there without properly releasing from the first institute. And from there, they go to a third institute. Then they go to a fourth institute. There is a silent exodus or a movement happening across our institutions. Not to say that institution A is better than institution B or vice versa. Now, because there is a lack of structured marketing, structured communication, what happens is people are unstable. People don't stay with a particular entity for long. They keep shuffling and juggling across places because they know that the supply is more than the demand. Compare it with, say, for example, the IITs or the IIMs or the NEET. People don't have the option of juggling or switching. Whatever be the shortcoming of the college, whatever be the shortcoming of the institute, the very fact that a person gets a seat itself is a big achievement. So they tolerate all the shortcomings. They try to be patient with all the difficulties. They endure it. They bear it. They are more accommodative. They accept excuses and they stick to one system. But because the Islamic ecosystem is oversupplied, there's a lot of competition among the same target audience. Ramadan is a good example. For example, frozen foods. This month of Ramadan, A also sells frozen foods, B also sells frozen food, C also sells frozen food, and the people always try to switch from A to B, B to A. Always for the A person, the B is better. For the B person, the A is better. The grass is always greener on the other side because there is a lot of opportunities or options out there. This is silently damaging a lot of the institutions from within. I'm telling you with all the, alhamdulillah, all the experience that we have had in the past decade or so. And this is not specific to our institution, not specific to our entity. Ask any Islamic institution, school, college, training academy, online academy, Islamic products, whatnot. You will find out that there is a small decay happening silently within. And those who are running these institutions, if not for the ethical angle, if not for the community objective, if not for the guilt of closing down something that is benefiting the community, they would have closed down the shutters long back, because financially things are not viable. They're always in debt. They're always struggling to meet the endpoints. There is always a dearth of resources. People are not staying. Not only the students, the teachers are not staying. The trainers are not staying. So there is a lot of turbulence in the whole system, and nobody is speaking about it because they think it will be recognized as their weakness. It is high time that we acknowledge that it is a joint weakness. It is not one institution's weakness. It is not one academy that is suffering. It is not one institution. It is not one publisher. It is not one producer. It is not one manufacturer. We are, as an entire ecosystem, suffering the same set of problems. And it is very wise that we acknowledge it. The solution starts where the problem is acknowledged. So we will take this moment to understand that we have these problems in common. Somebody has it 70%, somebody has it 30%, somebody has it 50%. But end of the day, we all have the same problems. How many of you in this audience are running online academies, Islamic academies, schools, colleges, or part of any such institutions? Can you please raise your hands? I would like to understand the type of crowd that I am dealing with. How many of you are a tutor, trainer in online academy? How many of you are running an online academy? How many are working in Islamic school, Islamic college? How many of you are benefiting from an online academy? How many of you are customers of online academy? How many of you are making homemade goods and selling it online? How many of you are doing arts and crafts like calligraphy, henna, mehendi, coloring, painting, whatever within the Islamic limits? How many of you are doing social media marketing? How many of you are designing posters on Canva and selling it? How many of you are doing PPTs and videos and reels? Somewhere we are all part of the whole ecosystem, either as a supplier or as a consumer, right? So, or as a facilitator, somebody might be in the management, somebody might be running an academy, somebody might be financing an academy, somebody might be running a free academy. So, somebody might be writing Islamic articles, blogs, somebody might be publishing content, somebody might be drafting articles for internet and social media. So, end of the day, we all have similar challenges, right? So, this is the situation, understanding what we're going through. Let's try to find a way out and address the elephant in the room. So, one of the major things that we have observed is we are all afraid. We are all afraid that in the uh, quest of marketing or promoting our products and services, we might use something that is not ethical. We might use something that is deception. We might use anything that is exaggeration. We might face difficult questions. So we keep things to ourselves. We say, okay, sharing our contacts and close circles, let's not make it too big. Or we fear that somebody will question our genuinity. Somebody will raise eyebrows about a particular image that we use, or a particular illustration that we use, or a particular background audio that we use. Somebody might be like, questioning the price that we are quoting for this particular product and service. Somebody might ask that it is too high. Why are you people like, plundering the ummah, looting the ummah, whatever. So, in the fear of all those uh, uncomfortable situations, we try to keep it low profile. Thereby, we miss a lot of tools that are actually permissible to use, but because of the fear of being questioned or grilled or criticized, we start becoming very defensive. We start keeping low profile, and hence many people around us are not aware. Many people around us are not even aware that we are running an academy. Many people around us don't know that we are teaching Quran. Many people around us don't know that we work in Islamic school because we try to keep ourselves low profile and do not go out full on onto the market. So where does this gap come from? It comes from two extremes. When you see people marketing or promoting Islamic products and services, you will see these two extremes. We will have people who come from the sales and marketing background, proper MBAs, proper people who are business related, but have no Islamic principles or grounding in the foundational aspects. So they sell it hook or crook, right? They try to sell it, they will try to meet the targets no matter what, how we convince, what we commit, what we promise to the customer. I have to meet the target, I meet the target. This is one problem. On the other side, we have people who are Islamic graduates, alims, alimas, ustad, ustadas, hafiz, hafizas. These people try to sell these courses, but are completely unaware of how to do sales and marketing. So these people are more on the persuasive mode. They always talk about sawab and reward and the virtue of particular thing. So when you talk and virtue of particular thing and the reward, the question comes back. If it is so virtuous, why don't you give it for free? Why do you charge for a virtuous thing? Now what happens? The Islamic studies graduates or the students of knowledge, they don't have an answer to this question and they get stuck, right? So these two extremes exist in the people who promote these colleges and academies and products and books and whatever. What happens? Very few professionals have a combination of both sales and marketing and Islamic foundations. And that is the problem that we are facing. People who are going to the market talking about our products, talking about our services, are either deficient in sufficient Islamic foundations or they are completely unaware of the sales and marketing fundamentals. So that is where this problem arises from. So what happens when you have only sales and marketing people, only pure sales and marketing people who have very little grounding on Islamic foundations? They will oversell. They will sell things that don't exist. They will exaggerate. They will amplify numbers. They will create fake statistics. They will emotionally manipulate people. They will not talk about the limitations of the product. They will sell anything in the name of university degree, university approved degree, this degree, that degree, right? They will sell like, 1,000 people have already taken this course. A lot of stuff which are ethically incorrect comes into the promotional pitch, right? They create an artificial urgency tactics. Tomorrow the registration is getting completed. After that, you will, if you register, you will not get the university degree, whatever. I'm just giving you random examples, random statements. So just in the panic mode to sell or to promote these products and services, people adhere to practices that are unethical, that are unethical. And the moment you have unfair means, unethical means, what happens? You stop having barakah in your business, in your operations, in your product, in your service, in your academy, in your institution. So how do we control this? Where do we draw the line? That is something that we have to answer. Also, challenging the community quiz is very, very, very difficult. Questions like, why are you, charging a fee for teaching Quran? One of the common questions that we keep on encountering. They might be paying 1,000 rupees for a math, 2,000 for a science tutor, 3,000 for a Tamil or a Hindi tutor. But for somebody who's teaching Quran, they don't want to pay. They think it is free, so it has to come free. How do you run deen-based services on profit? Uh, Hajj committees, Hajj services, Umrah operators, they keep on facing the same questions again and again. People who publish books, people who produce Islamic content, They always get these type of questions. How do you ethically persuade persons to buy something? Ethically persuade somebody to attend a free workshop, free session with different thing. But to shell out money and to enroll into a course. For example, if you have to understand the Quran, you have to know the language of Arabic. And if you have to learn Arabic, you have to enroll to a course. And this course charges so much. How do you connect those two different lines? Where is the line between influence and manipulation? How long can you influence people? Where does influence turn into manipulation? Where do people start selling fear of missing out rather than the product or the service itself? So all of these are challenging community queries that the people who are only Islamically grounded but have no sales and marketing background, they suffer. They are unable to sell because the moment emotional questions are raised, the moment people raise questions which are uncomfortable, which are challenging the values, which are challenging the moral intellect of the promoter, they try to withdraw. They try to step back and stop selling things. So these are two different problems coming from two different groups. So if you look at the ecosystem, we have academic institutions, publishing houses, online academies, Islamic fintech, financial solutions. We have ethical AI. Now AI is everywhere. We have AI which is issuing fatwas, which should not be the case. We are not validating that, but AI has come into the field of Islamic sense as well. So when I say ethical AI, it is AI which has been approved and vetted. Islamic e-commerce, people selling abayas, hijabs, and topis, and kurtas, and banzam, and iswak, and Islamic books, and whatever, right? Like, these are things that are increasing day by day, alhamdulillah. And majority of the people behind these businesses, in most of the cases, are, alhamdulillah, Muslim homemakers or females in most of the cases. So to summarize, academic institutions are struggling for their seats not getting filled, because of which they are unable to operate. Weak admission funnels, they don't know where to get audience, where to find takers for their courses. No structured outreach system. We are still very old school, distributing pamphlets and flyers and putting billboards. There is no structured outreach system which people can reach out and stay in touch throughout the year to build up a sales funnel or a pipeline. They all need trained professionals. When it comes to content and publishing, authors write authentic content, but they're unable to scale. They don't have any sufficient support or backup. Translators understand that they have been outdated by AI. They are unable to position their skill now. In these cases, the translators have a problem in positioning themselves. They feel that AI has taken away their job. So when it comes to content publishing and drafting and translating, there is a severe impact due to AI. Publishers fail to penetrate new markets. When they enter new markets, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of uncomfortable conversations that happen. So, though great content is produced, it does not guarantee great reach, and that is where stagnation happens. Online academies, you can see there are a lot of courses. There are a lot of courses launched every single month, every single week, but still the enrollments are three, four, five. Poor conversion. When you keep a free session, there is 200 people, 300 people, 400 people attending free sessions. But the moment you ask them to pay a small amount to benefit from a longer version of that, almost the entire room gets empty. So these are things that online academies face. They don't need more content; they need marketing clarity. So welcome to this course outline that we are trying to address all these problems. Alhamdulillah, in this course, we call it the sales and marketing for Islamic products and services. It is a 2-month course, completely online. We are looking at a 48 to 50-hour course duration. Inshallah, we'll be talking about sales and marketing foundations. We will be talking about Islamic business ethics, what is permissible, what is not permissible, what is the gray line, where is the white, where is the black. We're talking about social media ethics, what to do on social media. Can you do paid promotions? Can you have fake followers? Can you have fake likes? Can you increase the follower count by paying somebody? Can you have people click link and get paid for that? Can you include viral audio BGMs to make your post go viral? All and much more in terms of what is the do's and don'ts in social media when it comes to marketing. What are the images, illustrations, what you can use, what you cannot use, and all of that stuff. Number four, ethical commitments. What can you promise? How far can you go in selling something? Where does the line get drawn? How can you make sure that you're not overcommitting or you're overselling something beyond what it is potentially worth of? Number five, traps and pitfalls. How do you get trapped, or how do you end up in a pitfall? How do you get caught in a uncomfortable situation, or how do you get carried away by trends? How do you try to show your pressure that you have on selling certain things by compromising? Where does this compromise start? How do you avoid compromising on things that do not have a room for compromise? And number six, the most important aspect, the Islamic essentials, the foundations of what cannot be sold, what can be sold. How do you market something? How do you price something? How do you convince somebody about priorities? Somebody who is doing something, some other course which is probably level five when they don't even know level one and level two. How do you make them understand the priorities? Somebody who is running behind ijaza after ijaza after ijaza when they don't even know the aqidah, the tawheed. So how do you convince people to set the priorities right? How do you sell first things first? How do you make them understand that they need this before this? Commercially, people do this. Commercially, people they understand what to sell first and what to sell next, right? You can't sell an iPhone charger to a person who does not own an iPhone. To sell an iPhone charger, the person needs to have an iPhone or a device from Apple. So there you will be able to convince what comes first, what comes next. How do you create dependencies between transaction A and transaction B? When you have a mobile, you have a SIM card. What is the use of a SIM card when you don't have a device to put that in? So you know the proper sequence or the priorities of selling things there, right? When you sell a mobile, you sell a pouch for it, you sell a screen guard for it, you sell probably a sticker for it. So the commercial line is very good at selling things in priority, in sequence, right? When they sell a washing machine, they know that the person will also need a stand. So they sell a washing machine stand. They sell a washing machine cover. So automatically there are follow-up sales of certain things that happen along with it. Right? Now, this is where we are very weak at. We are very weak at. When we teach something, we are afraid to sell the material of that because we think the material is part of that. Whereas other people don't do that. You buy a bike or a two-wheeler, the stand is not included. The stand has to be purchased. The mirror has to be purchased. The footrest has to be purchased. The bumper has to be purchased. The floor mat has to be purchased. We are very poor when it comes to how to do follow-up sales, how to sell one product after the other, and how to show the dependency between two products and services. So all of this, inshallah, will be part of our course. And quickly going through the the profile, only 15 minutes that we keep it short. So, Alhamdulillah, the first training for this course will be Brother Bifir Qasim. He's an accomplished business leader with 2 decades of experience in corporate governance and business operations. He runs several companies himself and most importantly sits on the managing board of many educational institutions and welfare institutions. So he understands what it takes to run an institution, what it takes to afford the costs of operations of an academy, of a college, of a school, right? So, inshallah, he will be addressing the participants during this course regularly. Then we have Mr. Gibran Siddiq. He is an investment banker, SEBI authorized investment banker, founder, entrepreneur, and he deals with ethical finance, fintech, AI, social media marketing, personal branding, and so on. Alhamdulillah. So he is into Sharia compliance of financial products, and he would be giving insight on how to ensure a Sharia compliance in marketing. Sharia compliance in marketing is something that would be his niche and forte. Then we have Hisham Fatimi, Hafiz of the Quran, who has a postgraduate diploma in banking and Islamic finance. So this is the Sheikh will be talking about what is permissible, what is not permissible, how can you sell stuff, how you cannot sell stuff in online marketing, what are the deals that are permissible, not permissible, what is advance, what is refund, how can you charge a service charge on a product that is sold by somebody else. All these questions about what is ethically right and not right in terms of marketing and sales. Inshallah, Sheikh would be dealing with it. He is an SME in Islamic banking and finance and has been teaching Islamic business ethics at Christian International College, along with a lot of courses on Islamic finance and business in the Pitch Training Academy. So he is a Sheikh who has, Alhamdulillah, a combination of both the worlds. He has an MCA, Computer Applications Master, postgraduate degree from Jamal Muhammad College. He has a basic computer science alongside being Hafiz of the Quran and an alim from the Darul Ulum Deoband. So, Alhamdulillah, very unique and a rare combination with loads of experience. Then we have Brother Sayyid Arif, who is also a Chennai-based entrepreneur, serving as chairman and managing director of Mercy Group of Companies. He is into community projects. He is into community welfare institutions. So he understands how to sell through the community. How do you get the community aligned on social issues, on common interest issues? How do you show the return on investments on projects that the community is going to ultimately benefit from? So, Alhamdulillah, we will be talking to him or he will be giving the classes on how do we promote community projects or community products to the audience. And inshallah, I will also be part of this trainers group. I will be talking about, Alhamdulillah, the Islamic essentials. Especially on the foundations of what is ethical, what is not ethical, how do you make sure that you're not compromising on stuff, how do you draw the line of what is ethical, not ethical, how to differentiate between a normal cultural practice and something that needs a Sharia scrutiny. So inshallah, I will also be a part of this. Alhamdulillah, I've also been running a publishing company since the past 5 years, Alhamdulillah, as its project head. So we also have certain experience in answering queries and dealing with a lot of those uncomfortable questions that I put at the front. So, what do you get out of this course? Alhamdulillah, you get a placement guarantee for top three participants. Uh, as we speak, I have three vacancies for this position. A person who can sell or market Islamic products, Islamic courses, Islamic content, and all of that. So we ourselves are not getting the right people. So I thought the product of this course might be the best fit for me itself, inshallah. So I have a vacancy in Moral Publishers, we have a vacancy in Pitch Training Academy, we have a vacancy in Christian International College. So that itself is three. So we're not talking the air. As we speak, I have a placement guarantee for three of the institutions where I am in charge of operations, Alhamdulillah. So three people, a minimum three people, placement guarantee for top three participants. The remaining people who continue with us and complete, we will definitely be doing placement assistance for them, meaning we will recommend them for places where we know there is a vacancy. Even within the audience here, if someone wants people, they can always request us. If part of the enrolled students, you can always refer them. And people who are very small, one member, two member organizations, it is very recommended that you yourself be part of this, because when you are running a solo academy, a solo institute, it is important that you understand this aspect as the founder or a co-founder of a particular institution. Third opportunity is a lot of freelancing can be done. Freelancing opportunities online where you can do social media marketing, where you can create promotion videos, where you can create promotional content, where you can conduct podcast, where you can have sales pitch online and stuff like that. And finally, certificate from Christian International College for the course completion, inshallah, right? So these are things that we wanted to talk about this course. As you know, the course will start on the 4th of April, which is uh, after Ramadan, the first week of April, and will end during the end of May for a duration of 8 weeks, completely online. You will have around 6 hours of classes every week. So you'll have on alternate days. Weekly, you have three classes of 2 hours each online. It will also be recorded for your reference. You can always go back and check the recordings. And it will be in the evenings to make sure that the office goers or the people who are busy in the daytime can attend this in the evening time. And also the charge or the course fee for this is uh, 9999, which is 10,000 rupees, basically inclusive of GST. So if you have to look at the return on this investment, if you invest this 10K, if you invest this 10,000 rupees, that would be probably returned back within the first month because you are getting a placement guarantee. So if you are one of the toppers in those participants, the basic pay for the first month of that job is more than what you're paying. So you're paying 10,000 for the entire course. Probably it will be three fourth or probably even one half of the salary that you might get after being placed. So it's not a big amount experience when compared to how quickly you can recover this, how quickly you can return it, get this back into your equity. So inshallah, this is what we are trying to do. It is not just for pitch training academy. We are doing this as a service alongside as a business. We're also doing this service because the community needs it. The whole community is in demand for this. We are open to talk to any institute if they want to also enroll their existing sales and marketing executives into this course. We can give them special benefits. We can give them some discounts. For example, an academy is already having a person for sales and marketing, and they want their person to be qualified through this course. We can give them special discounts and all of this. Reach out to us, inshallah. And I want you all to market this course, even if you are personally not joining, having understood where we are coming from and what is the intention behind this course. I look forward to a lot of enrollment into this course through your referral, inshallah. Now the floor is open for questions. Inshallah, if you have any, please come forward and ask your questions. Any suggestions, any comments, anything that you want to include as part of this, anything that you feel would be an added value to this course structure, you are most welcome. Would the course enlighten about dropshipping or reselling of? Yes, inshallah, definitely that will be part of the business ethics part. Sheikh Ihtisham Ul Haq Qasimi will definitely answer these questions about the business ethics. We will be taught how to generate revenue from digital products, how to run Instagram ads. Instead of saying you will be taught, you will be given guidelines to be followed while doing this. You will be taught the guidelines to be adhered to when involving in online promotion of products. So rather than telling how to create a Facebook ad or how to promote an Instagram post, you will be about the do's and don'ts while doing so, because that is where things get slippery. So yes, inshallah, you will be given guidance on how to go about those features which can increase your sales funnel. How many of you think this is a required course for the community? How many of you feel that this course is required for the community? Alhamdulillah. So, which means that takes us to the question of how much can we get. See, again, we are having big names in the trainers list. We are having big people who have agreed to spend their time for this, which means we should have good numbers also to make sure that we are giving due right to their efforts and time. So, inshallah, we will try to make this very attractive, the offering, inshallah. Uh, so what we will do is, Sister Yasmin, sorry, Sister Sumaya is there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sumaya is there.
Yes, for the people who attended this workshop, for the people who attended this orientation session,
Okay.
can we give them a discounted price of 7,999 as a
Yes,
special
sure,
offer for
inshallah.
the people who attended orientation? We will give them a special price of 7,999. You can create a payment link and circulate to these people. People who have attended this workshop, this orientation session, you can actually send your contact numbers to the co-host, sister, the number which is Islam PTA. You can actually message her directly with your contact numbers so that she will reach out to you with the special payment link. Sister, can you identify yourself? Can you just type hi, Islam, so that everybody is able to respond back to you with their individual mobile numbers? So, for the people who have attended
Inshallah, sir.
this, yeah, the people who have attended this orientation session, you will have a special discount of 7,999. Provided, inshallah, you register in a week's time. Today is the 28th of February. This offer is available until March 7th, inshallah. Until March 7th, for the people who are making the payment and who have attended today's workshop, we have this special pricing of 7,999, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. You can reach out to this sister who has shared her number, and you can identify yourself. She will send you the special payment link that has to be done before the March 7th, inshallah. جزاكم الله خير for your patience and listening. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.